Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. I'm taking you on a trip back. It seems like just a few weeks ago when I worked on this boxwood. It's reacting very nicely to springtime. It has been in the greenhouse, so I've cheated a bit. It wouldn't be far behind with the weather that we've been having. This is the preferred angle. I have it tilted up quite severely so that the camera is looking at it the way I want it to be looked at. So I'm considering kind of a steep planting angle, maybe on the back side of a hill in this oval plastic pot. It's not huge. These things grow beautiful roots, and I would love to see something taking root on a little hill in a little oval pot. This is plastic, very good quality. I have no expectation that I won't get really good wear out of this. Let's see what this looks like when I take it out of the pot. As I mentioned, you're looking at my preferred front with these two pins lined up, and it's leaning back. I would say the main tree is leaning back. Either I lean it back or it's always viewed on a higher platform. It should look good from all angles, but I really want it to look good as if you were a little person looking up at the tree. Okay, that's where I'm going with this one. Come along with me. Okay, I got my little tub here. I'm not going to reuse this soil, as it's been in this for at least 2 years. So I'm expecting a mass of fibrous roots, which I will comb out, evaluate, do any root work that I think is necessary. And the first thing I want to do is remove the wire from these two branches. I believe it has done what we wanted it to do. For your sake, I zoomed through some of that, probably. Yeah, all right. All right, I'll reevaluate where the front is. Those are coming out. Wires off. All right. Now, I don't expect there to be any problem lifting this out of here, but this is a strange pot, and it goes under right about here. So I want to make sure that's loose. And it is. So just for good measure. Oh yeah. You just gotta peek at those roots. Look how nice and flat that is. I'm gonna be able to mold this on a hill, hopefully in a beautiful fashion. I actually drilled a big hole, drilled a bunch of wiring holes, which I never used. There's going to be a screen in there somewhere. What a crazy pot. All right. Very gently, and going in a radial pattern. I don't like using these for this operation. This is delicate work. So I break it up at the tip and I just let it fall out. It's good to not water it the day that you're going to repot it. Otherwise, the soil will not cooperate like this. I am doing very little to disturb these roots. There is some sphagnum moss down here. I wonder why. I don't remember that at all. Was I trying to revive this? I must have been. I put it in this pot. I don't remember. And that was before I was taking video of this sort of thing. But man, these things hold their moisture. Oh, you know what? For whatever reason I did it, I'm glad I did. It just makes it really difficult to comb out. Well, there's my screen. And oh, woe is me. I'm gonna have to cut this off. Yes. The other club I've joined is the don't use full size screens. Cover your holes. Keep a really crappy pair of shears handy. Yeah. Couldn't ask for a better root mass. Look at that. Okay. The outside roots thicken up. You know, they hit the pot and keep going in that direction. They become basically the oldest roots in the pot. So they thicken up. They can be cut off with no problem at all. All right, back in a moment. All right, well, in terms of reevaluating the front, I believe I've made a capital decision, and that is that what was the front is now the back. Where do I want to place this on this pot? I think I have a lot of decisions to make, and I'm going to start with a little bit of root work. These surface roots don't really bother me yet, so I'm going to keep them. This one, they're all coming off the smaller tree. This one has an odd one that goes down, but it goes down right about where I would want the soil level to be. So I'm not concerned about that one either. But let me go through this, and there are some roots that definitely need to come off or be shortened. This one is really thick and hard way out to the tip. It's got a lot of fine roots further up. It's a healthy root. I'm going to make a decision where to cut that. All right, this is going to be buried in the soil. I'm going to take it off right here. Preserve some roots at the tip. Lose a few. Nothing in the scheme of things, and that's a healthy root. And here's another one that gets really big. And I don't mind it because it doesn't go that deep into this pot. There's one right underneath it. So I think I can shorten both of those. Just teasing them apart right now. I will still want both of these roots. This under one I'll cut shorter. Helps me get a little flatter in the pot. Okay, this one I'll be able to push down. It's still quite long. Okay. I'll let you see the amount of roots I'm taking off. Okay. That left a lot of bare root area, but I'm not that concerned. Time to moisten. Keep these roots happy. I'm going to keep it at the division as the division goes down. Okay, that's a better decision. Clean out. Yeah. It's kind of a big one here. Now, I am going to save a lot of future root work for the future. Right now, I'm going to bury this, do it on a hillside in this oval pot. Keep it moist until I do. It's ready for repotting. Next repot, I'm going to do some more root selection. But for right now, I'm very happy for the tiny fibrous roots. All right. Okay, I'm coming back to this. I had to leave for a little while and I put it in a wet towel and it's been sitting over here, hopefully chilling. Okay, I prepared the pot. I just have to secure these down. Cut off the excess. That's all secured. And let me put a layer of soil in. Let me get this unwrapped. I'm choosing this as the front, and I want it up here. I'm going to mound the soil up and then have it come down to nothing on this side. And in order to do that, I've got a root that's a little bit too high here in order to do that. So I still have to do one more little root operation here. That'll flow a little better now. All right, let me get the soil in there, mounded up on this side. And much the same as with my Central Park Penjing, I'm going to be mucking over this soil, and it's going to be more like a tree at the end of a field rather than a tree in a pot. All right. And I'm going to put this on a turntable. So I'm going to rethink this a little bit. You know, I said I wanted to be conservative on the roots, but I watched, I think it was this morning, I watched Dave from Dave's Bonsai. I'll try to remember to put a link to Dave's Bonsai, but you all probably watch it anyway. And he went pretty severe on his roots. So I think I'm safe. And if history is any guide, I've done this before with this tree. And I think I put the sphagnum moss in there because I was just uncomfortable with how far I had gone with the root work. But the tree recovered beautifully. All right, let me work this soil in. See what happens. Just keep working it in. The soil level does go down. And the tree should get a lot more stable feeling in the pot. With every gap that gets filled. So I still have my ability to mound it up. And I'm lifting slightly to get the root ends to go down. Sometimes you got to help it along. Okay, so all right. I like that. And if it were viewed at this angle, it's still pretty good. I like it. All right, let me get cleaned up. We'll get this watered up, and that'll be that. I know I said that would be that, but I want to get this watered up, and then once I'm sure that this is settled into the pot, then I want to muck the surface, get some moss planted on it. I'd actually prefer not to put a rock on it, but I do want to make sure that the occasional bump doesn't upset it too much. These roots are going to grow fast. Tree grows slow, but these roots are going to grow fast. They're going to fill this part of the pot. I'm sure next time that I repot this, I'll be in for a surprise. All right, let me get ready to muck. All right, I mixed a little more shredded sphagnum moss in with this muck mix. So maybe hold it together better if it dries out a little bit. It does crack. This is the commercial product Mucko. There's no clay in here. It's just peat, akadama, and sphagnum. I put a little more shredded sphagnum in. All right, so what I want to do is just what I did in the Central Park landscape. As I built it up with a layer of muck that I then smoothed down. In this case, I want those root tops showing. You'll notice when I push, this tree opens out here. There's definitely two trees. But that will solidify in time. This is a laborious process, but quite satisfying. I want a gentle slope up to the hilltop. If I didn't mix enough of this, I'll mix some more. And I gotta fake it with this tree a little bit. So in order to pull it off, I'm going way down below the lip of the pot here, And this over here is not that high. It's not like it's a big hill. The illusion will be that it's a big hill. Hopefully. That's what I'm going for anyway. I'll make these transitions as even as possible. And I have not found that this makes it difficult to water. If this is kept moist, it doesn't become hydrophobic. I am going to want moss to grow on this, and I found that moss grows pretty good on muck. Not quite getting the illusion yet, but I'll work on that. Here again, there's nothing that gives this scale. So I've seen tire swings, other things. And once again, I'm a bit inspired by other YouTubers. Dave, you've got this concept going in Dave's Bonsai, in his Creative Landscape Challenge. I hadn't wanted to put a rock or anything on this, but let me think that, because it may help with the scale. This is a landscape. I really enjoy doing them, by the way. And I've got some others planned. There are some images in my head from my youth. One time I came across a, there must have been a house there, because it was a foundation not far off the road, but in the woods, and it was clearly a foundation. There were window openings in it, and it was very, very old. This was in Connecticut, where we used to spend our summers. The old house on our property was built in the 1600s, and it was still standing. This was in an adjacent field. No, it wasn't in a field. It was close to the road, but in the woods. Like maybe, I don't know, 18 or 20 feet back from the road. But you couldn't see it. It was all overgrown. I was exploring in the woods, and I came upon this foundation. And it's an image that has haunted me my whole life. All right. Does it do what I want it to do? If viewed from this angle, let's see. And if this were a grassy field, we do want to have a rock on it. Something to give this scale. I don't have a very detailed rock. I do. But it's not right for this. I'm going to go with just moss. So what I'm making is packed virgin earth that somehow looks this way without any help from man. Of course, man's impact is everywhere. All right. This is what my mother used to call potchkeying too much. If anyone knows what that means. Let me get to mossing. The mix that I made up for Central Park I'm going to try to put it on sparingly. It's difficult. You know what? I bought something for this. I haven't used it. I tried it and I didn't like it. Okay, I got the bright idea that this might work. See what I'm using here. You might recognize that from the pizzeria. With this very moist and with hardly any wind. Oh, this is working. Oh, I like it. I don't know why it wasn't working the first time. This is ground sphagnum moss and ground kind of velvety moss that I've sort of cultivated over the years. Every time I see it, I don't want to give it away, but there's a really good stash by Dick's Sporting Goods that I saw when I was there, that I might go back and steal, unless one of you beat me to it. I can't believe I gave that away. All right, listen, if you get there first, the best person won. But I'm going to get there first. If experience is any guide, it takes a while for this all to green up. The moss in the Central Park landscape is just greening up now. And it's been like, what, 3 weeks? I think I got the illusion pretty good with the hill. Can't say I'm in love with it. Now I haven't done anything on top. It's growing out very nicely. All of the things that we did a couple of months ago in terms of its fall pruning, all of that seems to have been good decisions. We'll get in closer in a few weeks because I'm going to want to trim this up and keep it trimmed, get that final shape that I'm going for. But it's got a great start, I think. I hope you think so too. That's it for today. Thanks for keeping me company in my backyard.